Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Peter 5'8", and this movie came out in 2024, starring Kevin Spacey, and it's on Amazon Prime, and it was pretty bad. I wasn't expecting great things, and not because it stars Kevin Spacey, but people have said this movie is pretty bad, and I was curious about it, and I was like, okay, let's see how this is. It was an hour and 40 minutes. And while it was bad, it was also very funny to me, and I had a good time. I enjoyed it. The first thing that stood out to me when this movie started was the music. It was just kind of all over the place and couldn't really figure out what tone it was trying to complement. And what I mean by that is the film and the tone of it and what it's trying to establish and set up. The music never once felt as though it understood the tone in which it was trying to complement the film itself. And it always just felt like that the entire movie. I never once got a good sense of what it was going for. It all just felt all over the place. And this movie is kind of slow, but in a weird way that kind of adds to the unintentional comedy of the film because you get so much awkward space in between lines that it kind of just feels like, okay, let's say this line, space, next line, next line. And that's how every single actor delivers all their lines throughout this entire movie. It's so weird. I don't feel like I'm watching characters. It always feels like the writer arguing with himself whenever there's conflict on screen, or just nobody had a clear understanding of how characters should be communicating to one another. And just because of that style, for lack of a better word, it made the performances really goofy, and I couldn't take anyone seriously. And no one talked like a real person. All of the dialogue was terrible, and I just couldn't buy into it. But it did make it entertaining, at the very least. And the scenes in this movie feel incredibly drawn out to the point where it just feels as though it's kind of like a soap opera almost. Like, I don't really feel as though I'm watching a movie where drama is being developed or something's being built to, or you get like a big payoff. It all just feels very stretched out, and there's basically no payoff whatsoever for anything. And another thing that stood out to me was the editing in this film and the way scenes were cut together. Because in just about any other movie, especially today, you would have movies in one of two directions. Either A, there would be way too much editing to where it would become a problem and it just gives me a headache and I could never stand such a thing. Or the good version is one of two things. Either A, you don't notice it, or B, you do notice it because you are aware of the stylistic choices that the film is making. And even if they don't work, you can still say, okay, it was an attempt to bring some personality or add something to the film. And that's something that you can pick up on and notice. But in this movie, it just feels as though there's like little to no editing throughout this entire film. Like, I don't really feel as though there are really scenes in this film at all that were cut down at all. It feels like the rough cut of a scene, basically. And it honestly kind of reminds me of some of my earlier videos where either I just cut so much out to where I didn't leave time to breathe, or before I even started editing videos, I would just upload raw footage. And yeah, it kind of felt closer to raw footage than anything else. And I gotta talk about Kevin Spacey in this movie, and I would have to say this is the first movie where I can say Kevin Spacey has been just bad. Like, his accent was all over the place. I have no idea what he was going for there. Maybe it was his character. Maybe it was the way he was directed. I don't know what was going on there, but he was kind of bad in this movie. And I think this is the only performance from him that I would say is bad. And in any other movie, he not only fits the role very well, but he complements it and he plays these different characters very well. At least that's what I remember him for, and he does such a great job at that. And even if you can say he's typecast at times, you can at the very least say, yeah, he does it very well. That's him at his worst, is playing a character that's similar to what he's done before, but still doing a great job. Whereas in this, I don't even know what his character is. I couldn't tell you what he was trying to do. It just feels all over the place, and I don't know what happened here. I have no other words other than I just don't know what happened here. And at no point did I have any idea where things were going or what the movie was trying to go for in terms of the story. Normally, I would say, oh, it's unpredictable, and that's a positive, but in this movie, I was just confused as to like what was going on, and I had no idea why characters were doing things in the way that they were. It was just all a mess, and the effects in this movie are bad and just very cheesy and just thrown together, and it just feels like they were given to people who had no idea what they were doing. The blood looked awful. It was way too bright red. There was a car accident in this movie. There was like a flashback, and that scene was just gold to me. It was so funny. I loved it. And that's about all I have to say about Peter 5/8. I have no idea why it's called that, really. The movie doesn't make it really explicitly obvious or hint at what that title is really alluding to. Maybe I blinked or missed something, or I was paying attention to something else, or I was taking notes while that information was told explicitly or subtly. I have no idea. But, anyways, very bad movie, very messy, but it was pretty funny. I'll give it that. So, if you're into funny bad movies, then check this movie out. I would actually recommend it. Not because it's good, but because it's so bad it's good. And that's most of what I get out of it. So, check this movie out if you're looking for a funny bad movie. Otherwise, skip this movie because it's just not going to be your cup of tea. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Peter 5/8 a 1 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Peter 5/8 and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Chicago from 2002. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.